Can you guys hear my fan in the background? Hey, we're live.
Only when you're not talking.
Oh, sorry, I was meditating. What are we doing?
You know what? I have one of those. The next time, let's all do it together.
Was that super loud?
No, that's wonderful. Do it again. Loud. I love Tibetan singing bowls. Do it one more time.
Hey.
You keep doing it. Not now, but keep doing it at some point to where it is so loud. You know how super loud?
I try not to. I'm still in my hotel room. Last night in my hotel room.
Our guest says they're on the thing.
But I try not to bug all my neighbors. Though I've been learning guitar, so.
Our guests, tell our guests to click on the link I sent them in their Facebook thing, and then that will take them. I'll know because I'll be able to see them in their. Let me try again. Hey, everybody watching. Yes, we do know that you're watching us. We do know that we're live. We just like things to feel. Run, quick, hide it. Go hide that thing. We just want to take a casual approach here because we know that, we know that we know that this is free and we want you to feel comfortable to ever call in and join us. So we want to show you that we're comfortable too, when really we're as uncomfortable as a hell. I'm uncomfortable. What about you guys? I'm probably lying. I'm so comfortable.
Well, that depends on what we're talking about.
That's true.
Comfortable with the format. Uncomfortable with kind of what we're going to be. Not uncomfortable. What we are discussing is going to be an uncomfortable topic. Hey, Gray. Nice to meet you.
Hello.
Hey.
How's it going? Nice to meet you too.
Good,
I think we might have met before at some point or another. But
that was really weird. I am so sorry. I was touching.
I thought I was taking over. I thought it was going to
be
that was my January 6th.
That was I am.
You were inappropriately touching things. That's the problem.
Gray, I'm going to take you off and put you on again and
okay.
Introduce you the right way.
Bye.
My God, I'm so dorky. Okay.
You just missed the best joke I've ever made. We'll probably ever put.
Did I really? Did I miss like the best 5 minutes of live podcasting in my life just because I tried to kill a little gnat on my screen?
5 minutes of live podcasting. I said the best joke that I'm ever gonna make.
Oh yeah, forget
Which
it.
was I referred to you being gone as my January 6th because I'm taking over now.
Oh, that's right. Of course, you know.
Yeah. Terrible joke.
Terrible joke. Yeah. Hey everybody.
Not disgusting, but yeah.
Welcome. Welcome to Heroes 101. We're trying to keep things light because it's been a really tough week. Yes, I have a touch screen. This computer, I love it because you can touch it, you can flip it. You know, it's one of those ones where you can flip over and make it a standing screen and everything. So I'm going to try never to touch it again because I almost just ended the show. With me, shaking his head all the way from, I'm in California. He's in Florida. My co-host, Impact, everybody. Woo!
Thank you.
Yay! Woo! And I don't know where you're viewing them, but I think that NightBug is right there. Okay, good. We're pointing at the same place.
That's
NightBug
right.
is actually just across the house from me. So, wow. Impact.
Hello, everybody. I'm NightBug.
You have to do that the rest of the show.
What's going on?
Wow.
You have to talk like that and hold that up there.
Hey, everybody. I'm rock and roll. We got to get you one, Impact. If you're listening, Vector, Impact's got to get one too. That way we,
make it whatever you charge, Vector. I'll pay for it. Just do it.
There you go.
Whatever whatever your normal fee is, not the anti-friends and family upgrade.
Seriously.
The reverse friends and family discount.
So
we charge more.
Heroes 101, and if you guys have never joined us before, we are a show, and we have condensed this now, the explanation. We're a show about real-life superheroes, for real-life superheroes, put on by real-life superheroes, and we're just trying to make the world a safer, happier, healthier place. And thanks for joining us. We do this. We try to do this as often as we can, once a week, maybe. We'll see if it keeps going.
It'll probably drop down a little bit, but
yeah, because you're going to go back. So if you want to know more about the real life superhero movement and everything that we're about, we still have all our archives on Blog Talk Radio. which was just radio. You didn't get to see our ugly mugs. You got to hear us. And you can check out all the archives. We have answers to any questions you might have about being real life superheroes, because we invited the whole real life superhero community to join us to answer them. So we've got literally 8 to 9 years worth of shows that you can listen in anytime you want about real life superheroing.
And they'll probably be there only for maybe the next month.
And then we'll grab them and move them. Yeah.
Do they get moved onto iTunes still? Because they're
on iTunes, but yeah. I don't know if iTunes will keep them there once we take them off of blog. We'll see. We'll keep you posted. That's what we do. Hey, if you guys have a question tonight, because we got a kind of hot topic tonight, and if you've got a question, please feel free. You're watching us obviously through Facebook or YouTube, and if you type it in, we will try to answer you. We try to answer everyone. With that, hey Proteus, hey Brendan, how are you? Hey Luminil, nice to see you here. We're glad you guys joined us because we could really use it. Like I said, it was a rough week, and it's only Wednesday. So thanks for helping us to get over this hump in the week. Impact, what's our topic tonight?
Ooh, our topic is the super light and airy, always fun topic of the feels very weird because of what your cast looks like. How to be a good ally to people of color. And people and minorities in general. And I'm saying it that way because, the idea kind of came about, and tell me if I start sounding really bad. The idea came about was I kind of started talking to Rock because I was feeling very frustrated over the weekend. And I reached out to her because Rock, and this is not meant to be an insult, and we've already said this to her. Rock kind of is white presenting. You're half Filipino, right? Correct?
I am Oh my God, the list goes on. Our family is Filipino, Irish, Black, Asian, and Middle Eastern. So but look at
So obviously there is a large level of being a person of color, and I'm Jewish, and I'm not trying to say being Jewish is the same as being a person of color. It is not. I've seen that argument online, and I don't think it is. I mean, but it's also kind of weirdly different than being white because, well, yes, my skin color will never be a problem. My ethnicity is, because that's what being Jewish is. It's not just religion, because if you can 23andMe it, it's an ethnicity, and you can 23andMe being Jewish. And the reason that it's the thing that I was thinking about is the fact that, like, one of the things in the Charleston March that always gets cited was they marched with the phrase "Jews will not replace us." Everyone knows there's a bunch of shootings in synagogues. Jewish dog whistles get thrown out all the time. So it's always made me feel a little bit like I was in a weird spot being where I am. And that's why, like, when I started going to Black Lives Matter protests, I had the shield that I made for it specifically was the fist with a Jewish star around it, because it felt important to me. So really the whole idea tonight is we're going to be discussing how to be a good ally, and hopefully as people who've been allies recently, and hopefully we will have some input from our friends from people of color. We might have a few callers in. We're not sure yet.
Well, we do have, and it's true. People, depending on my hair color, and you guys are always talking about, how my hair color change. The reason it changes, man, for years when I had it dark, you can tell the discrimination, the level changes with the shade of hair, because the dark brings out my darker skin tones, and it's with this, especially when I'm wearing sunglasses, people, and they can't see the corners of my eyes, or they can't see the semi-Filipino. No, they think I'm white, and So I've seen both sides of the coin, and yeah, it's a really strange place for Impact and I to be because, you know, people think we're white, but we've had the discrimination. Trust me. Hey, but I want to say hey to Luminil, who goes on patrol in an hour. Luminil will try to get a lot in before you do, and we want you to be safe on patrol. Dusk is here. It's not a party until Dusk is here. Yes. Lucy McLeod, thank you, darling. Love you. Keep being your outspoken self. Love it. Javid Man, rock and roll. Yeah, that's so cool how much I have in my family. Man, you got to see my family picture. It's awesome. It's like, hey, this is what diversity is supposed to look like. I'll put it up sometime. Yeah. Hey, Proteus, we're all mutts here. Jessica Hayes. Hey, Eris, Discordia just got here. Yes.
Brendan, I appreciate that you would merc a Nazi for me.
Merc a Nazi for us.
I pay money to watch.
Everyone, merc your local Nazi.
Merc your local, or get someone to do it for you, like Brendan. So
get someone to do it for you.
We have someone with us who's on hold in the studio. I don't want to break these things. And bear with us because this is our 4th broadcast going visible. We spent 8 or 9 years doing just radio where you couldn't see us scratching our butts or whatever we were doing, you know, eating.
Did you see me scratch my butt?
I just was trying to give you a warning in front of everybody. You're not wearing pants, right? Right, exactly.
I'm Donald Duck right now.
So,
I'm kidding.
So bear with us as we're still getting used to this live broadcast. We love it because then, you know, for one thing, we don't talk over each other as often as we used to, right, Impact?
Well, you don't. I still
shut up.
Wow.
Okay, bitch. So with that, we have a guest on tonight. We were gonna have 2 guests. One is at a protest, and we'll tell you about that person later. So we love that. The other person that we have on tonight is a Bay Area activist and musician. And when I say activist, I think this person was an activist from the moment that they realized their voice could get louder, because I know them personally, and they have, I want to say that when I say activists, there's protesting, there's contacting local civic leaders by phone, by email. This person has gone beyond that. This person has taken their music and their album last year, Sound of Revolt. Oh my gosh, I'm screwing it all because there's so much. Sounds of Revolt raised hundreds and hundreds of dollars for various BLM groups, and their current single, "We Are Not a Virus," has raised money for an Asian LGBT group. So this person's also done films and everything, but tonight we're going to talk with this person about being an ally. So without further ado, what else do you say when you're going to bring someone on? Just screw it.
You're the one who always brings people on. I don't know. What do you?
Yeah, I know, right? Welcome to the studio, Grey Starr. Thank you for being here. We used to have wonderful little sound effects that went,
hi there.
Woo! But we'll get those back next week. So you got one too, huh?
I'm pulling out a NightBug. This is yeah.
All right, now
my
Impact
pants.
has to go get one.
All right.
That's sweet.
Pants? You're wearing those pants right now, right? Are you wearing those pants right now?
No, not right now. It's just black.
Dang, that would have been.
We got to
awesome.
get you a Funko Pop where you are wearing those pants.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, we all have to get ourselves in Funko Pop. That's it. So, Grey, thank you for being on here because I know that you've got a busy schedule. Can you tell us a little bit about what made you such an ally, an activist? Well, not just an ally, because you're also people. Again, Grey is a person of color, so people assume things. And anyway, tell us why you're so adamant about being an activist in the San Francisco Bay Area.
I think for me, it was a lot of how I grew up, and a lot of stuff that I would see other people deal with. But I think the turning point was actually I was in college, and this is back in like 2007, and my best friend Joey and I were we were covering for our journalism courses for the paper. We were covering the Oscar Grant protests and riots when those happened, and you know, I think it's also just contrary to every old punk rocker that exists that's like a piece of shit now. Contrary to that, it's partially just growing up listening to, you know, punk music and underground hip hop and stuff where people are actually using their voices to say something about the climate that they're in, you know?
And also, if you don't mind
Sorry,
sharing,
that
because
was a super long-winded answer.
No,
That is
not
great.
at all.
It's great.
No, thank you, because it's important for people to, you know, to it's more depth. One of the things I hope you don't mind sharing, because I know this about you, but they don't, is as a person of color, the things that you've experienced with police. Do you mind? You don't have to, but if you don't mind sharing.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, I don't mind at all. I think, you know, it started in high school and was a lot of, you know, at first it was little things like I would be walking to my friend's house after school, and I would be, you know, followed by cops because in high school I actually like right now I wouldn't say I'm white passing, but I'm definitely not as dark as I used to be. I'm Filipino and Iranian. So back in high school I was like a brown kid. And I would get harassed by cops a lot. Um, one of the things they would kind of do is, you know, kind of just kind of follow me wherever I was going, and then eventually it progressed to where they were like, I got arrested like a few times in high school just for walking home. I literally didn't do anything. They said that I looked and seemed like some sort of Mexican drug dealer, even though I'm not Mexican at all. And you know, so that was a start. And then there were plenty of times where just growing up, you know, some of my friends and I, we would like one instance we walked into an abandoned building and the doors were open. We didn't break any windows or anything. And you know, I'd like to be like super punk rocker and be like we broke the windows hardcore, but no, that place. Well, let's walk. And I guess we tripped at a silent alarm, and it was just like a bunch of cops came up, and then we were pretty much bum rushed and had, you know, slammed to the ground and stuff with guns to our heads. You know, we're like 15 or 16 at the time, and you know, it was pretty terrifying. And then there's so many other incidents though too in like adulthood, you know. One time I was walking to a friend's house and or I think partner at the time's house, and I got stopped by 3 cops who pulled their guns out on me and handcuffed me, and they were calling me somebody else's name, and you know, the whole time I was telling them to check my ID, and they ended up arresting me. And then eventually, right before driving off, they checked my ID, realized I was the wrong person, and then they were like, "Oh shit, our bad, sorry." And then they you know, threw my wallet and, you know, let me go. But I think about things like that, and if I was a black person, like I wouldn't be telling you guys this right now. I wouldn't be around to tell you guys about this. You know, things like when I was just only a few years ago, like in 2017 or 18, I broke up a fight outside of a bar in Oakland between 2 white guys who were all bloodied up, and the cops, you know, they saw the two fighting, and they saw me in the middle with my arms out, keeping them away from each other, and they handcuffed me, slammed me on the ground, put guns to my head, while they had a casual conversation off on the side of the street with the two white guys. And, you know, I sat there for probably a good hour with my hands behind my back and a gun to my head while my partner was crying and screaming like, please don't shoot them, please don't shoot them. Like, you know, so, you know, yeah, that's just some of the experiences. I mean, there's more. There's so many more. I was in a hip hop group for years, and the hip hop group consisted of me, a Vietnamese kid, and 3 black men with dreads. And we would come out to Alameda quite a bit because that's where I was living, and we would literally get stopped every time all car together. We'd get stopped. They'd tell us they were broken. They'd give us any excuse, but we knew they weren't. You know, so it's just been years and years and years, and you know, I'm pretty fortunate in that I can talk about this stuff, whereas other people, anything similar to that, and they're shot and they're you know they're not around a story anymore. You know.
Exactly. You're fortunate enough to be able to, as awful as they are, have those stories. And guys, I want to let you know, yeah, we do know that, Gray, you've got some choppy video, people are saying, so that we don't miss anything you say. If it does continue to be choppy, you might want to move closer to the, and I know you can, closer to the Wi-Fi, to our, to the router thing. Hang on a second.
Yeah.
The things now, I'm not.
Yeah, you can take me off for a minute, and I'll go do that.
Okay, we'll do that. Let me do that. Okay, there you go. Guys, I want to say router. Thank you. when you're trying to like do 3 things at once, the mind's going, what's that word? What's that round thing with chocolate chips that you eat? Oh yeah, cookie.
Router.
Right. But hardwire your laptop. One of the laptops here is hardwired. That's why Bug's stuff is usually more more.
I trust wireless, and I never will.
No, you don't. You guys, and I will tell. I'll tell you right now, when I'm asking these things of Gray, I'm not asking them to just bring up more horrifying stories, because any person of color, I don't look like a person of color. I can tell you some fucked up stories about things that have happened to me with cops because they thought that I was, when it did show more. So we don't need more stories. Unfortunately, we don't want more stories about how police have fucked with you because you're a person of color. We don't need more of those. The whole point of me asking Gray that is to show you that there's ways that you can combat that, because if anybody, because I know Gray personally, Gray should be pissed off and just kind of staying low and keeping their head down and not, just being any kind of target. But Gray is out there being a complete activist, just working their ass off in everything they can do to try to help people understand that Black Lives Matter. That POCs like us, our lives matter too. So let me see. Gray is still setting up. As soon as it's funny because I can see them in this studio. You can see as they're trying to set things up, and it's funny when they're
chaos.
Yeah, it's a little bit of
chaos.
Yeah.
Dogs flying around and.
Gray, if you could hear me, put a thumb up when you're ready for me to turn this back on. When you're ready for me to bring you back on the studio. So, yeah, dogs flying around, everything like that. So, and dogs will come and try to knock things down. In Gray's stories, and I want to also put this out. If you guys are listening, there is a lot of talk that I've had personally on my page about what happened yesterday, the shooting with the 15-year-old girl. And I'm going to say that respectfully, we're not going to talk about that tonight because we don't have all the facts. And what we don't want to do is turn things into knee-jerk reactions, because really, you saw what I posted yesterday. When I heard about it, I was pissed. I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? Again? We're going through this again? Right on the heels of this verdict from this asshole Chauvin? But that can't be the response. It has to be, wait a minute, hold up, take a breath. That's healthier for you anyway. Let's just find out all the facts, all the circumstances, because I'm always the loud one wanting to lead the charge. But I'm learning in my old age that you better get your facts straight because someone could get hurt. So, let's just, and that I think was part of the problem. Gray, are you still working on that, or I can't tell. I think that Gray might be. So, okay, well, with this, let's get started while we're waiting for Gray to add some stuff. Cool advice for the average white guy, Dusk is saying. Show up to BLM and adjacent protests and movements in a suit and tie, professional look. Change the narrative that professional types are, trademarking that, are against movements like this. Peaceful methods of protest merely through presence and being seen, and that is a great idea.
I actually have a story about that. It's not actually my story. It is a story that was relayed to me, especially back, 8, 9, 10 months ago when things were really, protests were much more consistency. My brother was a pediatrician up at Brown in Providence. And during one of the protests, or a few of them, a lot of the doctors would show up. And there was one at the State House, and he was telling me that a bunch of them came out in force. They all had their lab coats on. They were all dressed nice with lab coats on. The crowd just parted, and they went into the front and just started yelling like,
wow,
this is an epidemic, is what they were like basically saying to the State House.
That's the way to do it.
Lent this huge, they weren't taking over the protest. They were, I believe they were invited there, but they lent this air of, I don't want to say dignity, but like
authority.
Legitimacy, yeah.
Everyone sees doctors and like, is there a doctor in the house? Doctors know what they're talking about.
Yeah,
a bunch of doctors in lab coats went up there and said, can't keep going on. It's an epidemic. So yeah, there's totally something to be said about what Dusk was saying.
Exactly.
The other thing is, during protests last summer, my team and I would show up in our gimmicks, and some of the leaders would talk to us and be like, we want you guys on the edges. Not just because some of you guys are like jacked out in armor, but because you are bright. You are drawing attention, saying, here, white folks, look at us. So we did. Yep. Like we were some of the we were as loud as we could be in our bright colors, trying to get people to look, because it added it made it not just it went from just people being frustrated, because people were frustrated, otherwise we wouldn't be complaining. It went from just the frustration to a little bit of curiosity, but also largely a bunch of white folks were out there in bright colors, like getting them to look. And so it added, that one wasn't authority and dignity necessarily, but it was a level of just at least attraction.
Exactly. And sometimes the presence is the most important thing. I've also seen ministers locking arms to help.
We've had ministers at a lot of our protests.
Yeah. And Dusk is saying, it reminds me of what here. I'm going to show this for a second. Reminds me of when CHOP was going on and the doctor nurse types were in charge. But because they are the ones who are, they're projecting authority, legitimacy. So yeah, that's probably it. So, I see Gray. Gray is almost just moving to get to the right spot. Okay. Hey, Gray, give me a thumbs up when you're ready to go, and we will get on this again. Can you hear me? I think you can. Oh, okay. There we go. All right. Here we go. Not yet. Okay, hang on. There. So let me know when. Put your thumb up.
That was the teaser trailer.
That was a teaser trailer. Listen, another thing you guys can do is, of course, protests are great, but I was hearing that along with protests, those phone calls that no one else wants to make, and I was uncomfortable, but if you can get yourself a little template of what to say, and it depends on, of course, what you're calling about and the chain of command that you're supposed to call into. But if you don't know where, this is why, as RLSH and as just regular citizens, we should be in touch with who our civic leaders are. Like right now, if I asked you, do you know who your mayor is? A lot of people don't. Do you know who your police chief is? Again, knowing who to call and what to say, and trust me, there's so many sites out there that can help you put together, like I said, something to say. You can also find out where community activist groups are. Oh my gosh, don't reinvent the wheel. Don't try to do it on your own. Go to them. You know, they could use all the help in the world. We call ourselves real life superheroes, right? We're not supposed to stay away from the normal paths that they're not regular, I'm just saying unreal life superheroes take. We're supposed to use those as well. I mean, just because you put on a suit and a mask, and this isn't a lecture, but I see it in 10 years. This is old lady rock telling you in 10 years, I've seen so few real life superheroes actually going to the proper chain of command, but instead going, their own way and forging their own path. It's good and it's bad, but it's mostly bad because if you don't know how to affect change more effectively, you're just going to keep walking this path, trying to get to where you can go twice as fast over here. Okay, so, and yes, Discordia, sending emails is the way to go. Because they'll direct.
It is, but it isn't. I get a lot of us have social anxiety, but emails are easier to ignore.
You can ignore, but there's also, somebody's reading those, and there's always. You don't think so? I've
read stories that they're not always, or like they're like it's some interns scanning them and just putting them into the junk file.
Really? Oh, okay, that's bullshit. All right,
I don't know if it's true.
Thumbs up yet?
I don't know if it's true.
Are you good, Greg?
But I think getting 500 phone calls starts.
I think so. Okay, sweet. Yeah, that'll do it too. Blowing up someone.
And I hate phone calls.
Oh, I know. Hey, Gray. There you go. We can see you from your eyes.
Hello. Let's see if this works.
Very shaded. Okay. There you go.
There you go. That works.
There we go.
So Gray and
all right.
Dust, we'll get to your comment because that's a good one. It's much better than it was. Yeah. Okay. So Gray, with all those awful stories that could have ended fucking horribly, especially since I know you personally, those could have ended horribly. I'm glad you're here to tell us how to affect change through being allies, what we can do. Because I know there's we have the best friends on our feed. We have this wonderful echo chamber of people who feel just like we do. Let's stop this. It's crazy. Ask people how they're going to go about it, doing it, and you're going to get a lot of blank stares like, I'll protest. I'll agree with you really strongly on Facebook. So get the ball going. Get us going down the right path for how can we help as allies.
Well, I think a lot of people often think that when it comes to being supportive and when it comes to donating, like you have to donate like a shit ton of money or something, or like you have to, empty your pockets, or you have to, physically be at every single protest. And that's actually not the case. There's plenty of ways to donate without even, spending money. Last year there was, they had things running on YouTube for Black Lives Matter, and you just let a YouTube video run, and through ad revenue and through views, you're making money for the movement. There was stuff like that. There's sharing resources. There's sharing knowledge. There's there's so many ways, and I think people kind of get wrapped up in the money aspect a lot. And there's plenty more ways to do it. Even if you're just sharing certain charities that resonate with you, that's one way to go. But then also another thing I feel like is to come at it from the ally standpoint and essentially be like, hey, this is this sucks what's going on with everybody and to these people in particular. So here's some things that I've researched that you should donate to. Here's there's a lot of ways. There's also just even support. Like for me, a lot of it is supporting the local artists of color or queer artists that I know in the scene, and finding other artists and just buying a fucking album or buying a single or even listening to and giving them more views, because especially in the Bay, there's so many great Black, POC, Asian, like everything artists. There's so many great queer artists. There's such a great movement. I mean, not just out here, but everywhere too. But that's definitely a way to do it, is supporting, the art of, marginalized people. So there's a start, I think.
There is, because honestly, when I donate, I feel like you just said, people feel like if they can't give this giant sum of money, that their donation is, no one wants to donate $2. It's kind of embarrassing. But then at the same time, if everybody donates $2, that it all adds up. So that's a great idea. Just because a lot of RLSH are poor as fuck, right, guys?
I do a lot of $5 donations for things.
Well, yeah, and another thing too is that when it comes to things like the artists, because that's mostly what I have experience in is either donating to that or I've donated to so many causes over the years, but the thing that I do on a regular basis is donate to artists. And you have outlets like Bandcamp Fridays, which are, I think, once a month now since the pandemic. Bandcamp does a thing for artists where they keep 100% of revenue that's made on that day. So usually with those days, I try to make sure I have something up so I can, give to some sort of charity or organization. But even if you're not giving to a charity or organization and you find some cool artists that are, POC or anything like that, it's awesome to know that 100% goes to them on those days. So there's plenty of outlets like that.
Yeah, that's one thing that we may not even think about, is the financial aspect, is helping, POC get their voices heard, especially ones who are performing and trying to spread a message that way is buy an album and such like that. And I'm wondering, I'm sorry, I realize I've got to stop because I keep asking you all these questions and I'm not allowing my other two co-hosts. It's not that I'm not allowing.
No, you're doing great.
Big mouth.
I'm just sitting back here drinking my Red Bull. Keep going.
We don't want to cramp your style.
Wow.
I don't even know what that accent was.
That was me trying to do that. It was from Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead. Yeah, that's really, wow.
That's what I do. I don't have any of my own dialogue.
That's true.
Now, you've seen a lot of things going on, Gray, with especially with yesterday's verdict. And you've seen, I know you were talking about what's been going on lately. We're not going to, like I said, we're respectfully not going to talk about the shooting that happened yesterday, just because we don't have the facts and we don't want to screw anything up by speculating about anything. But as far as yesterday's verdict, how do you feel about that? And we got a little delay, so Ray's going to get it.
Yeah. That's it's a small percentage of. I'm not gonna call it justice because justice would be George Floyd being alive. So I'll call it a small bit of hope that somebody will actually learn a fucking lesson that you shouldn't do that, maybe or something to that effect. It's very. It's like I want to rejoice, and I think people want to rejoice, but then they also know that the reality of living in America right now, or just being a person of color in general, it's there's way more work to be done, and while that's a nice little step, that's awesome that happened. The most that we could hope is that it prevents people from doing it again.
Yeah.
It's and because so I saw this, most of my, especially in both profiles. I have two Facebooks, especially my unmasked version. It's largely white folks because that's just. I know. Anyways, they all were super ecstatic, which is great. We should all be thrilled about what happened. But I made a post. I was like, yes, we can all be happy right now, but let's remember this is a very, very minor first step. It's not a win, or it's not a major victory. It's a minor win. We scored a goal. We didn't win the game, and. Hopefully next time someone will step in instead of relying on a 17-year-old girl to take video of it to get not even justice, to get punishment done.
Oh, I'm sorry. I know there's a little delay for me, so I was thinking.
No, I totally agree with that.
Oh, if you had more.
Yeah, I'm gonna try this again. You can take me off again real quick. Sorry, I'm gonna try.
No worries.
Using a different phone or something.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'll do that. Poor Gray. We're all. We anyway. I was gonna say everyone using too much of one
router.
Router, yeah, is a router, yeah.
Cookie.
I think that another thing that we can do is, it's funny because I call myself an ally. When you're a POC, are you? I guess, I'm an ally to other POC. Okay, the way I look at it is one of the things someone said, and it was really important to me because I had thought of it before, is don't try to tell anyone of color right now how they should be feeling. Listen in, and if they're asking you to do something specific to try to help the situation, don't try to impose your feelings on them by saying, well, you shouldn't really be the... Mm-hmm. You're trying to tell someone how they really shouldn't be thinking. So let's not do that, okay? Ask your friends, how can I help? I want to be an ally. You'd straight ask your friends of color. And it's a weird conversation. Just like with this, we're right now in a wildly unprecedented time of history right now. We're through a pandemic, through, this craziness with, what's going on with police, with racism, And we have to have these conversations. Oh my God, these are so uncomfortable, these conversations. But I swear to God, we have to make them normalized. We have to be able to, we had to, Bug and I have this aunt. It's Bug's aunt. And we love her, but we cannot deal with her anymore. We had to cut her off because when it started with being upset that Cap was taking a knee, being upset for all the wrong reasons. And then it escalated to BLM is a terrorist group. Done.
Yeah, there's a lot of Fox News.
Yeah,
A lot of Fox News influence going on there, clearly.
exactly. So unfortunately, she's lucky there's a pandemic, because every year we have a family reunion. And I am not. And for all my talk, you guys, I try not to be violent. Because the three of us that you're looking at right now, we've all been trained in martial arts for decades. I think we decided that it was like 86 years between the three of us. We know what it's like to be in an altercation. I know what it's like to get my bell rung, okay? I don't want to fight anybody. I don't even really want to verbally fight anymore. I really don't. But if there were, at that point when she said those things, if the pandemic weren't here and we had the family reunion, I think I would have been like, we need to talk right now, okay? What was that? But luckily, I passed through. But we will need to talk because she's family, and we will need to have that uncomfortable conversation because we haven't had one yet. So if we had one and she doubled down and just, that's the way she is, then there's not much we have anymore.
Yeah. It's inevitable anyway, so it would have to
but
happen.
We're gonna have to have this talk. As allies, we should all be having talks with family, trying to explain in a loving way that Black lives matter, that POC lives matter. And please don't come on here with the all lives matter, because I'll cut you off.
So something I was thinking about is, so for those of us specifically who are us white allies who want to go and help, I think the best thing that we can do is when we show up to help, and I know most of you guys are RLSH are, no offense to everyone involved, including the three of us, we're all a little stubborn. We all want to take the lead. We all think we know what we're doing is going to be right. When you show up, you don't show up to lead. You show up to follow. You show up and you say, how can I help? What do you need from me? You don't say, I'm going to do this.
Exactly.
You can say, hey, I have this ability, this skill, this training. How can I help you? And you listen.
Exactly.
And if you get told you're going to stand here and watch people cross the road, just fucking do it. Because you're not in charge. You're showing up to help them.
Yeah.
Not tell them what they need. Because, and you kind of alluded to this earlier, we can't tell a grieving community how to feel. We can't tell a community that is going through pain how they should react. Which is why when people are like, well, how do you feel about a burned out? I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to tell a group that's been a marginalized group that's been going through pain for the last 400 years how they should react to that pain anymore. I'm not telling them what to do.
Exactly.
I'm just going to be there. And that's what you're there for. You collective you, everyone listening. We're there to listen. We're there to help. We're there to follow, not to lead. And that is important because that is a problem with white people at protests sometimes. They show up and they think they know what's right, and they try and take the lead. Guys, as your fellow white person, shut the fuck up.
Right.
I'm gonna bring Gray back on, and
okay, that should be better.
Wow, look at that!
Yes.
Look at you. So much. Okay, excellent.
I just realized I want to get a T-shirt that says, white people in support of white people shutting the fuck up.
Wow.
Something like that.
That would sell. Okay, if you guys heard that and you're gonna do it,
copyright.
We'll see you.
I want a quarter every time someone says it.
Okay, so Dusk has to go. Thanks, Dusk. Thank you for being there. Let's see. Catman, Catman, I saw you holding. I was going to bring you on at the right time, but I know you don't want to hold that whole long. I try to get to know here. You know what? Catman's a comment. I try to get to know as many local police and county representatives as I can, even if they don't know me or have an opinion of me. Meeting them makes me more personable to them. Yes, that's the best. You know, seriously, then you're not just some random face. You're who you are. +1, not necessarily a leader. This is a good one too.
Also, if you're going to protests, might I suggest, maybe putting the fucking phone down. Maybe don't go to a protest to take a fucking selfie. That's just my. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because
Only,
I've
yeah.
seen too many Instagram girls, doing.
I'm in a protest.
Yeah.
Woo.
I'm progressive.
And
Yeah.
that kind of goes along the lines of like a lot of performative stuff that goes on. Like last year we had, bands and artists and people that honestly didn't really give a shit, but kind of wanted an easy way out to make it look like they were being supportive. Did the black box thing, and all the black box did was, take away from resourceful posts that had something to do with BLM. So there's a lot of stuff.
Hold on. What's the
know.
black box for people who might not know what the black box is?
It was last year. It was somebody put it out that putting a black box in support of BLM was, the way to show your support on a certain day. And what it ended up doing was just canceling out like information. And instead, when you looked up the BLM hashtag, it was just all these black boxes from a lot of white folk. So it's there's definitely that, like, don't be performative. You know what I mean?
Oh man, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
even with my band Pretty Frankenstein, when we posted we did a post saying that we donated this much and we showed the receipt. That was literally a thing of like, I want you to know that your money actually went to this, and I'm not a prick. So it's just stuff to keep in mind.
I mean, I kind of get that. So my team went to the protests a lot in St. Pete, and at a few of them, there was a photographer taking photos. Dave Decker works for Creative Loafing. Fucking great. If you see my profile picture, that's from him.
Nice.
But he took photos of us, and we shared them not because we're like, look at us, we're at a protest, but the idea and the reason we opted to go in our gimmicks is we wanted to make a stance of, we are a part of this community. That community includes people of color. We're standing with them. So we shared photos, but continually backed it up.
Yeah, and
once in a while, we didn't often take selfies, but like once in a while, there's like, a couple of our teammates were like, screw it, we're proud to be here. We're gonna take a photo. But again, they were backing it up, and
exactly.
And I'm just bringing it up because I know some people might take photos of this stuff, and it's not to say you're terrible if you do it. It's don't go there, take a photo, and leave, which I know happened a lot.
Yeah, don't go there for photo ops. And I saw like one of them. I saw it was a white girl doing a selfie, and it said, "Stop killing black people. I want to have black babies someday." And I was like, "That's
fucked up."
Yeah, that's not really. They're not a commodity. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like it's not like
a
yeah. So
Yikes.
just be wary. Just be wary of being a shitty person, I guess.
Okay. To play devil's advocate, what we want to do is make people more aware. What we want to do is to let them know, okay, maybe her intentions were good, but she had no guidance as to don't do that. Don't.
Oh, I'm sure her intentions were good.
Yeah.
But that's not the way to do it, So I think that, and what we're trying to say, if you're listening and you're white, you're not the enemy. You're not. And the fact is, we're thanking you for being allies. The whole point of this show is, if you're asking how I can be an ally, that's not the way to be it. You know, don't go, oh, I want to have black kids someday because they're so cute. That's not the way to do it. You know,
I mean, in its own way, it's also a racist statement. Like,
yeah.
So
Yeah,
I'm not trying to
yeah,
burst bubbles, but it is. It's saying it's positive racism, I suppose, but it's still saying it's still othering a group of people for some stereotype.
Yeah, it's like all it's like
or whatever.
It's like it is slightly off topic, but it's like you know, all Asian people know martial arts. But here's the thing about that one is I really hope that becomes a stereotype again, just so that motherfuckers who are fucking with Asian people become afraid again and go, oh, I'm not going to mess with them because they all know Kung Fu. It's like, yes, keep that in your head. We all know Kung Fu. Just you know, repeat it all the time so that you don't think of fucking with an old lady on BART or something, you know?
And if you want to learn Kung Fu in the San Francisco Bay Area, there's many places to learn.
Great segment.
We will teach you for free. But
if you want to learn the St. Petersburg area, come find me.
There you go. Let's see. There's a comment here and regarding that. Yes, it is fetishizing, not supporting. Thank you. You know, Discordia airs on here. If you guys are reading, it had a really good idea. Let's see. Dusk before he left said, I worked with a lot of campus groups when I was in college. And he's working with a Muslim group, Sisters of Staten Island. And they're a super helpful resource for, you know, like volunteers and outreach and stuff. And also for ideas on how to be, you know, an ally. And Discordia also had one here. I can't find it now, Discordia, but you were talking about
the free training.
Yeah, going. Take training at here. We'll post it so people can.
ihollaback.org.
ihollaback.org. Yes.
In case there's an audio, I don't know if we're doing audio only, but if there are audio only people, it's ihollaback.org.
No, I think it's all video. Yeah.
Oh,
so
okay. I wasn't sure if we were.
Yeah, never know though. It might be put on iTunes, and then it would just be, you know, audio. But so that and I wouldn't even think. Oh, we've got a comment from Amber. I'll put this one up because really we value what you guys are adding. We white people in general, but especially white women, are really bad at listening to POC and shutting up. It was really apparent on Pantsuit Nation page. Oh, good Lord, yes. Black women would post and ask not to have us comment, just listen. It never worked, and that was in a private progressive group. Thank you, Amber. Yes, Amber, that is a thing. I think Impact said something earlier about how white people have a really hard time of coming into something that's organized and just shutting up and, you know, helping out and being a plus one, as Brendan said, instead of taking lead. You don't, just by trying to take lead during a POC event, can you not see how that is not helping the cause?
Our founding fathers should have thought of this.
White saviors.
Just come here and ask how you can help. Don't come here and take over. Don't come here and impose your beliefs on everybody.
Exactly.
Where would we be now?
Oh man, right? Indigenous
Tom
people.
Cruise in The Last Samurai, man. That's
right.
What the hell? Don't be Tom Cruise, people.
Don't be Tom Cruise in The Last Samurai.
No, absolutely not.
Johnny Depp in The Mexican.
Right.
Yeah.
I know the line Gray wants to say, but I don't know if you should say it or not.
I think I know the line too. About it.
What's the line? Is it?
Oh, I have Black Dynamite saying "shut the fuck up" when grown folks is talking in my head.
Oh,
right now, but that's
okay.
probably different from what you
a Dave Chappelle joke.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that Paul Mooney
show.
Yeah,
Paul Mooney.
Now,
Tom Hanks has the last blank word on Earth.
Yeah.
Oh man, you got to work with Dave Chappelle, right, Gray? At one of your
and Paul Mooney
and Paul Mooney.
Oh, nice.
and Charlie Murphy and and all those people. Yeah, those are back in my Yoshi's days. I used to work at a club that had like really famous people come in all the time, and I'd work backstage for like KRS-One or Dave Chappelle or Stevie Wonder and shit like that, and I shook Jesse Jackson's hand, which was at the time it was pretty monumental for me, but then just more so over the years it like resonates. It's like, oh fuck, that was Jesse Jackson. So
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Did Stevie Wonder come in for his birthday after hours of performing somewhere else, and then he partied more? Wasn't that the story or something?
Yeah, he played a 3-hour show at the Oracle, and then went to Yoshi's, and I think by then it was 1:30 a.m. and I worked till like 5 a.m. that day because he played for the entire night. And the people that he brought in to the club, it was this is very off topic, but it was
that's okay. I asked
because you have Stevie Wonder in the head of the pack, and I'm escorting him to a seat, but then behind him is India RE, behind her is the entire Escovedo family who were regulars, and then you had Shaka Khan who was there, and who else? I think one of my friends pointed at somebody who was wearing a hoodie. He had big hair, but the hoodie was like kind of covering it up, and he wore it kind of like Kenny from South Park. And I was like, why does that person look familiar? And my coworker was like, oh, that's because that's Questlove. And I was like,
wow, after all that time.
I was like, the Questlove? He's like, do you know another fucking Questlove that exists? Like,
another Questlove.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a wild night. But yeah,
wow.
That's
Nice. So what was that line again from Dave Chappelle? I'm sorry, I kind of missed it. It was
next we're gonna see Tom Hanks as the last N-word on Earth.
Wow. Wow.
Can't deliver that quite like Paul Mooney.
That's another thing.
For a few reasons I can't.
For a few reasons.
That's another thing. That's another thing.
Only being one of them.
I'm going to talk about the N-word for 2 seconds. That's another thing. We can't tell Black people how to feel about the N-word. I know as an Asian in the Bay Area, that word is used so commonly because Blacks and Asians, we hang out like everybody's just, you know what I mean? So it's back and forth. And it's like, it's nothing. It used to flow like water. But I've heard people, especially in the Asian community, trying to defend it, going, but that's what we say to each other. And I'm going, but now, right now, if your Black friends, if your Black family is telling you, don't say that word.
It's a weird thing with the Asian, like, so I was in a hip hop group for years, and I always say that, but I was in this hip hop group for years, and never once, you could go back and listen. We were called Spirits in the Basement. You could go back and listen to all of our songs. Never once do you hear a verse with me saying it, because I never felt the need to say it in a song. I mean, don't really feel the need to say it in general, but like in a song, like Eminem has used it in songs.
Has he? I thought that was the whole thing. Was he said he never did. I thought he never did.
He only used it in one, and that was on the Marshall Mathers LP. Nobody talks about it. And he was just. It was a shock value song. It was in Criminal. There's an unedited version where he says it, but it's anyway. But to that effect, like. Kid Rock said it all the time, and that guy's just a piece of shit. But
Kid Rock said it all the time for more reasons than
but it's one of those things where I feel like a lot of the time, if you do see an Asian dude saying it, sometimes he's surrounded by Black dudes who are totally fine, and then if you ever do witness somebody going, just like you said, if you ever witness somebody saying, hey, you shouldn't say that, and they keep saying it, then that's where it's like a thing. But like, you know, there's you know, San Jose and Union City. There's so many like, you know, hood ass Asian people that I know that just throw it out there, and like I worry for them sometimes, but you know, that's not my call.
No, they need to listen. That's one of the things we're trying to say as an ally. One of the best things you can do is listen. If your friends are okay with you saying it's, even then, I would be like, nobody gets to say that word except black people. No one does.
And
just
again,
to be safe.
To white people, please
just don't
fuck up.
It's you know, there's a great Key and Peele skit where they're like, it's like the meter of if you can say it or not, and then it's pretty much like them looking at their skin being like, I can say it, and then like some white people like checking the meter, and they're like, and all the one question it has is, what's the color of your skin? And then if it said white, it was like, you can't say it. That was like, yeah.
I mean,
That's right.
when I was back in AmeriCorps, I had guys on my team, you know, who were black, who said like, yeah, you can say it around me. I'm like, nope.
Yeah,
it's
like,
not a word I ever need to be saying.
It's something that I've often thought too is there's so many famous white people that all a famous white person has to do really to stay famous and liked by everybody and not get canceled in any way is one, not rape or assault anybody, and two, not be racist. And for some reason, it's so hard for so many to do that. It's like I don't know what the yearning is for you know,
the yearning.
Papa John,
I can't be racist today. Shit, like I don't get that. Like
I can't say this one word that doesn't affect
me. Yeah.
Well, that or be God, I'm so disappointed in JK. So it's not even about the racism; it's about being, you know, against transgenderism.
Yeah, you know, her and Chris Pratt and all those people. It's, you know, it's really unfortunate.
Yeah,
but
Gina
at the same,
Carano, whatever her fucking name is.
Oh yeah, her too. But
all she
to the
do
same,
is shut the fuck up.
I must be trash. Yes, exactly right.
to the same effect, though, I do want to just give a shout out to all of the, like, a lot of the time. So I'm a primarily rock and roll artist. You know, we have some hip hoppy stuff, we have some, you know, emo-y stuff, we have some goth stuff, but you know, a lot of the time you talk to people that are in this genre and everybody holds on to this, like, the 90s were the best, the 90s was the best music, and we were so progressive in the 90s. But I really want to just give a shout out to all the awesome POC and queer musicians that are like blowing the fuck up right now, because like Gen Z and like younger millennial than me is just killing it, and our versions of people my age are people like Lizzo, who are just all about, you know, body positivity and just being an awesome black woman. Or you have people like Lil Nas X, or you have people like he's from England and he's white, but still he's like super queer, Youngblood. You know, I don't know. It's a really cool thing to see. So that gives me hope when it comes to everything, when it comes to race and when it comes to all that stuff in the world today. So, you know, I thought I'd just shed some positivity for a second.
No, that's on that,
Yeah.
on the trail of that. Yesterday, like I said, I put I can talk today, a new mouth. I put up a post that said, I'm seeing just as many white people crying and cheering, and not disingenuously. I mean, sincerely happy that this guy, you know, got found guilty, as I was seeing black people. And that gave me hope. I was like,
oh, totally.
Y'all, so
Impact, are you crocheting?
No, sorry.
Oh, damn.
What are you doing?
It is I can crochet.
I was like, oh shit, that's cool. That's awesome.
You should have been crocheting. I can crochet. Can you share crochet, Bug?
Why are you crocheting? What's wrong with
His
you?
new mask. Oh my God, you do. You crochet. Let's see. What did you?
Oh, nice.
Did you do that? Did you do that?
I mean, I did these years ago. I did these these are probably 6-7 years old.
What's your
But
Etsy
these
handle?
are actually the first thing I ever made.
Okay, I think
This is the first one I ever made. This is the second one I ever made.
I
It's
think we
different.
love Impact even more so now than.
No, I didn't bring. No, I just had a piece of string. I was kind of. I'm very ADD. I'm very fidgety. A lot of times when I do video calls, I have a fidget spinner. I don't know where I put it.
No,
in this room.
I'm a super anxious person with autism spectrum and shit as well. Not that you have it. I'm just saying I totally
No, I
get
mean,
that.
but
I'm so
it's
fidgety.
a lot of similar. There's a lot of similarities there.
Yeah.
There. Let me put this up. This thing.
Next time I'll crochet, maybe.
Yeah. No. Seriously, that would be great. Let me show this one real quick. Yes, it's amazing. Well, if you're listening and you can't see us, for the pragmatic folks, it's amazing what happens when you hit an untapped market in regards to the success of queer and POC musicians. Absolutely. Lizzo, I love her. She's like, fuck you if you don't like my body, okay?
Well,
so
the thing is with her too, and the body thing. This is on a totally different topic now, but it's something that I've said because I'm trying to get fit myself, but Lizzo works out and is vegan, and she loves the way she looks, and she is healthy. So getting fit and shit, it's not about getting fit doesn't equal getting skinny or getting smaller, and that's something I try to implore all the time. And anyway,
And,
I just wanted to
piggyback on that. For anyone who doubts, you try dancing around on stage for 2 hours while singing very well, and while also playing flute, which takes
playing a fucking flute,
which takes a lot of lung capacity.
Yeah.
Try it. I can't do it.
Yeah.
Not just because I can't play the flute. I can't even do just the blowing.
God.
Yeah.
It's a lot of effort. So
it's
people need to recognize that yes, being fit and healthy does not necessarily. It's like you said. It's not necessarily looking skinny or trim.
No. I mean, we've veered into a different topic, and that's awesome. Real quick,
If
9 Inch Nails definitely broke a lot of gender barriers for their generation. Trent described himself as a twink many times. Now he's a beefcake. Trent is my future husband. Love you, Nightbug, but you know this, right?
That's okay.
Yeah.
I got Scarlett Johansson.
You got Scarlett Johansson. We both got Scarlett Johansson.
Well,
but
yeah.
Anyway, okay, that's another show.
And I think, and let's just be real, queer people just make the best music. Like, I mean, how are you going to tell me that? Like, for me, when I came out as bi in high school, I was obsessed with David Bowie, and I read so many interviews with David Bowie about how he came out, and it just kind of taught me like, oh shit, okay, like that makes so much sense to me. And then most recently with coming out, being non-binary and not conforming to any form of gender, it's it's very relieving for some of us to not have to fit these certain roles on such a daily basis. It's like, if today I want to dress as a man, I can. If tomorrow I want to go full drag and dress as a woman, I can, but I don't have to be in that box. And I think, I don't know, just from my experience, like when you find artists like that are kind of unhinged when it comes to the social norms or whatever, it just makes the art so much better to me. And with that being said, Pretty Frankenstein is the band name. So
Oh, we were going to totally, let you promote.
Oh yeah, well, yeah.
No.
By the way, Little Nas X is I was 5th week in a row, #1 in the UK.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, please, just bust down all that.
I like what he said recently. He said, I hope I hope I can fill my Grammy with the tears of my haters.
I love it.
Right.
That'll do it. We've
Make it a
only got
chalice.
Yeah, exactly. We've only got like 15 minutes left. And really, whenever we have a show where people are flowing, I always think it leads to another show. We talked about this one. We were actually supposed to have a show next where everybody showed what they would earn some money for. We were trying to earn money for Project Hope. I think we can do that. I think we can do money for Project Hope. We can also donate some money to some Black Lives Matter groups too. But everybody was asking for $5 from people for doing something, whatever their many talents were. So Gray, you've got to do that too with us. So yeah, we'll do that when Impact's ready because he's going to be on the road. Next week might not be a show. Maybe
next week I'm home. It's 2 weeks from now I'm back on the road. I'm on the road for a few days again. So
yeah, we'll let you guys know. We always let you know. But I'm thinking that when we're talking about this stuff, if anyone, all you guys who are giving us comments and anybody who's just watching, if you want to because I can always send you the link to the show. We can have your face on there if you want. I don't know how you'd be able to show us your talent, or you could always just blank out the screen. You have that option, but we could hear you. Say you want to sing. I'm saying 1 minute each of something.
We will have a shepherd's hook come to your house and rip you off the screen.
That's right.
We could. That would be fun. Hey,
you're not going to have someone showing up.
Exactly. Frankenstein drag queens and inspiration. Brennan, are you asking that of Gray for their band Pretty Frankenstein? Frankenstein drag queens and inspiration. Now I know Gray, you already have a drag queen persona.
Yeah. My drag persona is I don't have. I had a Facebook for it and she kept getting like way too many creepers on it, so I just stopped checking it. But my drag persona is Yasferatu.
Yasferatu, such a great name.
And and the band is Pretty Frankenstein, and sometimes for the shows I will like drag up and everything. But we are working on a like new album and stuff. Everything that you'll see if you check us out is like super like gothy or like spooky. So yeah, check it out.
Yeah, definitely.
If you like I guess imagine if every once in a while Peter Murphy decided to rap on a song and
Ooh.
But no, not in his Peter Murphy voice. Okay, better yet, imagine if Peter Murphy and I don't know, like Common or somebody did a song together. It would be a weird mix of shit, but it would be entertaining. That's
a better description. In my head, I was hearing literally like Peter Murphy trying to sing Run DMC.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't.
Do it.
No. I can't.
Do it, Gray. Somebody do it.
No, I can't. All right. I can't do it.
Right, you trained monkeys.
Right yeah.
Actually, you are. We've got Mark Sewell is saying, "Me not singing is my gift to everybody. Everybody give Mark $5 to not sing." I don't believe that, Mark. We're gonna get you to sing. Right? Sky Knight says they'll go to your house personally and give you the. I believe Sky Knight would.
Yeah.
Eris, maybe I can brush up on my Rubik's Cube speed runs. And you know what? Eris and Vector could have a contest.
Have a cube off.
Race.
Because Vector's been trying to get there, you guys are crazy. I would love to learn.
I could do it I could do it like the slow version next to them.
Right? Me too. I could be like,
I have to bring in our bass player to take part in that.
But really, we are needing talent to raise money for Hope, and we could do this for like Gray's been doing BLM groups, because really, right now is the time. And what better way than to take this, because we can get up to 8, 10 people on this screen at once.
I think it's 10, maybe 8.
I think it's 10. Picture that. You get like 1-2 minutes to do your thing, and then everybody goes, yay, we love you. And you just raised whatever amount of money you raised. That would be
telethon.
Amazing. Yeah, you have no idea what you've just done. We're going to do a telethon. We're going to do a telethon. That's it. We're going to do telethon.
Mine's going to be Ron Swanson in Parks and Rec recanning a wooden chair.
Yeah, just doing the chair. Yeah.
And losing money.
You're going to do. I love Ron Swanson. Are you really good? We love. Are you kidding?
They did a telethon.
Are you kidding?
And it was like late at night, and they weren't getting where. And he goes, "I got this," and he starts to recane a wicker chair, and they're like losing money during it.
Yeah,
but we love.
I'm saying that's gonna be me. I'm gonna make us lose money.
Oh my god, no! My favorite is when Ron took the sconce off of Ann Perkins' wall and just melted it. And here's the thing. That is really him doing all this stuff. He
actually did it.
The guy is just we love him. He's our spirit animal.
The one thing is he is much more emotional than Ron Swanson is.
Oh yeah. His comedy is also way more crass and ridiculous.
Yeah. He's great.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, hold on. You guys
Muppet Labs.
I know what to do for mine. You guys remember Muppet Labs? Wait. I remember Beaker and Dr. Bunsen Honeydew. Is that what you're talking about, Sky? What are you? Can you imagine?
I do want to say before we continue being off topic, as a reiteration for the actual point of this podcast, for again, from white folk to white folk out there. When you show up, and just remember, it is not a POC's job to educate you on what to do necessarily. It is your job to be open to listen and to be open to research. It's not their job to teach you history. It's your job to decide you want to learn it yourself. And if you don't want to learn it, not everyone likes history, at the very least, just listen when they talk. And so, I talked to one of my teammates about possibly coming on here, and that teammate said they weren't really sure what they would say, what kind of advice they would give. And that's okay, too, because it's not our job to expect a black person or a person of color to tell us what to do. We just have to be open to listening when they decide they know what they need. We can't go saying, I can't go up to a black person and say, tell me what I can do. Tell me what you need. Just be there until they decide they need it.
Yeah, and not listening and not waiting for the turn to speak, I think is a thing. And then there was also something else that I was going to say, but I totally forgot it. So anyway,
welcome to my world.
Yeah.
What we're going to do is, in case, we know that we throw a lot of things out during these shows. So we always follow up. Thank you, NightBug, for always doing that. Taking any links that we talked about, they go up on our Facebook page, our Heroes 101 Facebook page. If we gave you something that we really want you to remember, sorry, my nose is itchy. It's allergy season. I have a fan on here. If there's something we really want you to remember, we're going to make it easier for you by putting it on our page. We've always done that. And during the week, we're going to try to see if we can find more links. And if you have if you guys are already, because we got a couple of really good links from comments tonight, things I didn't know about. I holla back, I'm going to check that out now too. So if you guys have some, please feel free to add them to our Heroes 101 page, because the last thing we need is a bunch of uninformed people with a lot of energy not knowing where to put it right now while the iron's hot, which is why we have the show tonight. We wanted to strike while the iron is hot. So please feel free. We'd love to have your comments on there, just like you guys commenting tonight.
That's what it was. To the effect of Impact talking about history and everything. try to watch out for don't like POC and queer people don't have to relive their trauma just because you're curious.
Yeah.
That it is not their job to, like you said, educate, but also it's just, I don't know, like there's having questions, but there's going about it the right way, and there's also the fucking internet that exists for people who are like, curious, and instead of going, oh, I'll ask my black friend about this, just look it up. You know what I mean? And like, yeah, and follow the creatives and all that stuff. But yeah,
That and I don't think we mentioned this tonight, but I think it's really important. It's so important. It's what prompted this. If you do see a person of color being questioned by anyone, it doesn't even have to be a cop. It can be a store manager. It can be, just anyone out there who stops a person of color to talk to them. Just be on hand, watch it. Don't be afraid to video. Keep videoing. In fact, if you can, try to have it go to something live, because you can always delete that later, but at least live, your evidence can't be destroyed by someone snatching your phone.
yeah.
So it's already out there. In fact, if you have a smartphone, they do have ways. I think Bug has something that he says, what do you say to your phone?
Yeah, it's a short. I have mine set up to say, I can say, hey Siri, or I can hold down the button, just say trouble, and it'll start recording. The light will go on, and it'll there's versions of the shortcut you can create that'll do things like turn off incoming calls so you won't get interrupted, and some will record it straight to the cloud. There's all kind of great variations on that. I'm sure there's a non-iPhone version of that. I don't know what it is. Yeah.
So do that.
I'll look up some links.
Because if we didn't have that recording, we wouldn't have all been celebrating a win.
Right.
It's just it's just, yes, we're all celebrating, but to echo back what several of you has said earlier, it's kind of a sad thing when a country has a moment of justice for a murder and calls it historic.
Yeah.
So
Brandon says it's one of them is I'm getting pulled over, is what you can say.
There you go. I'm getting pulled over. Excellent. Wow. So if you see a person of color looking like somebody of authority is trying to talk to them, be there, be on hand. You could be that person that helps set the record right. It's by being there.
Also, I'm just going to reiterate it. Support your local POC and queer artists in your area, or just in general. You can start by supporting Pretty Frankenstein on Bandcamp. Our latest single is called We Are Not a Virus. And all of the money from that single is going to, and has gone to, the API Equality Northern California Fund, which helps LGBTQ and Asian people alike. And it's all Asian people on the song, playing bass, record. We have a few features that were all Asian members of awesome bands that we know. So yeah.
And
maybe get that out of the way.
Maybe stop putting your dollars toward racist, homophobic, etc. artists as well.
Yeah.
That's exactly a good point we didn't bring up. Yes, if you really want to know, vote with your freaking dollars. Things that support racism, don't support them. You eating at Chick-fil-A because you say that sandwich is good. I hear what you're really saying. I hear what you're really saying.
Bojangles is better.
Yeah, exactly. You're saying that you don't want to give up a fucking sandwich, and you're not really caring where that dollar goes. You really should think, if you want to be an ally, give up that Chick-fil-A sandwich. Okay, or places that you know repeatedly give to anti,
even if you can't fight every corporation, pick one and stick with it.
Stick with it. Your dollar, dollar's your vote. It's your voice. So,
yes, I stopped eating Nutella when I learned that they were basically burned the Amazon for it. I stopped eating Chick-fil-A because of the gay conversion therapy stuff. I'm not going to go after every corporation in America because then I'll never eat. But there's at least a couple that I'm not going to shop with anymore.
And you could also start that with small companies too, because we've actually done that where we've called out these racist companies and told, other people like, hey, don't carry their stuff anymore. And then, the stores haven't carried their stuff anymore because they saw our screenshots and they saw what those people did before they took them down. So,
that's awesome.
Start if you want to be like an activist about it, start locally and be like, okay, what's fucked up here? Let's call these people out in the right way and not just argue with them on Facebook. You gotta kind of learn when to argue on Facebook and when not to. But if you could actually do something like, if you can literally hit up an employer or supplier and be like, hey, you shouldn't work with these people anymore and lose them business for being shitty, then do that,
Vote with your dollars. Yes, absolutely.
Yep. Make shitty have a consequence.
Yeah. Oh, God. You guys got to see this one. We rioted over that Popeye's chicken sandwich, folks. Use it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, it is good.
It's
really,
good.
Pickles, man.
Yeah.
Pickles.
I could see why McDonald's is trying to push their own version now, but
it's trying to. Okay. We are at this thing will let us go forever, but our shows are typically 90 minutes or whenever the fuck we feel like turning them off. So it is 90 minutes. And I think we gave you a little bit of information. I hope we did. I hope we helped you to see that sometimes people of color aren't outwardly like Impact and myself.
Again, I don't consider myself a person of color.
Well, not white.
No, it's
not
different.
It's different. Right.
I get the point. I just feel that I have to
No.
It's different, but also if you got genocide in that background, then it's I wouldn't exactly
I know. Again,
negate that.
There's something there. My sister used to go to Tree of Life Synagogue. Like, yes, there's some shit, but
no, I totally get what you're saying is
that's kind of what prompted the whole thing. It's a weird line a little bit.
Yeah.
But we do fight as hard as we can, because we know that we've got that. We know we've been discriminated against. And even if we hadn't, we should still all be fighting. So it doesn't have to happen to you for it to matter to you. Just remember that, okay?
That's literally why I started going to marches. Not because I felt like I had to, even though it hadn't happened. Because that was one of the things. So I'm sure everyone's heard that poem, First they came for the communists, but I was not a communist, so I did not speak up. Then they came for the Jews, and I was not a Jew, so I did not speak up. And then they came for me. And that's a Jewish family, Jewish communities talk about that all the time. They always talk about if people had spoken up in the 40s, things might have been different. If people had accepted refugees in the 40s, things might have been different.
Yeah.
Well, now this is my time to speak up.
Exactly.
It's not me.
Exactly.
Or my people. It's my time to speak up because someone needs it.
Yeah.
That's why I had the star on the fest. Because that was important. Because it's like, it felt very generational for me.
Yeah.
It's a great symbol too on your shield. Next time you have to show it to us. So
I actually
in the
hotel. I packed it in the truck.
Okay. Yes. Next time you'll have to show it.
I might be able to pull the photo.
Well, with that, y'all, thank you guys for listening, for adding your 2 cents. It's been a rough week, and this really helped. So you helped me. It always feels like we're visiting with friends. Even if we can only see you through your comments, it literally feels like you're in the room and we're chilling with you.
Nice.
Yeah. See, yeah, there you go. So thank you. Like I said, I hope that we've given you things that you hadn't thought about before, something to think about, and ways to start down on the path if you aren't already. And to those of you who have just been there from the get-go with everything that's been going on, thank you so much. This Asian hate is another form of racist hate, and so We POCs appreciate all you guys being out there, all of you. Grey Starr, thank you. I want to thank you for coming in and letting us pick your brain and for giving us stuff.
It was awesome having you.
And also for letting us know about the Yoshi stories, because we're gonna have to bring you back in just for those.
If you ever want a lighter show and to know how to deal with a celebrity, I will be on that one for sure.
As long as you drop a lot of celebrity names, because I want to hear about it. I want to.
Oh yeah,
I'll
drop all the Kenny G stories. And
I was gonna say it's worth it for the Kenny G stories alone.
All the tea. Huh?
Yeah,
you'll give us all the tea. Okay. All right. So with that, you guys, I guess we won't see you next week.
Well,
it's in the air. We'll let you know. Know.
I'm coming off of three weeks worth of 50+ hour weeks straight. I'm tired.
Making that money.
Like I said, I was drinking Red Bull this whole show because I'm trying to kind of save.
Poor thing, yeah, because in Florida it is what 11.
I'm in Atlanta. It's actually pretty cold right
now. Oh, you're in Atlanta. That's right. Yeah. That's right.
Oh, no. Yeah. But today was my last day. I get to go home tomorrow, a week early.
All right.
All right. Well, thanks, you guys. Hopefully, we'll see you next week. And if not, we'll let you know. Always do.
It'll be soon
because we love doing this with you.
Because I don't know if I can do every week, but every 2 weeks, we probably definitely make work.
We'll figure it out.
We might discuss doing a different night though.
Impact Go Bed. So you guys, check out Grey Starr's song. We Are Not a Virus. It's really awesome. And really, there's a bunch of Asian artists who are the bomb, who have their own bands and who are blowing up everywhere else. They came together and they did this on a song that Grey wrote and is singing. So
it's at prettyfrankenstein.bandcamp.com. That's the name of the band, Pretty Frankenstein. And we all proceeds are going to the API ENC, which is the Asian Pacific Islander Equality Fund of Northern California, and it specifically helps LGBTQ and Asian folks alike. And the song has Millie from Retra on it, and it was produced by our friends at Nova Noir, and it's pretty cool. So yeah,
it's got Matt Easton from
Matt Easton
the Jenny
from the Jenny thing.
Yeah, so
and who did an awesome verse on it and just went totally ham.
He's all right.
No, I was super proud of it. It's very Iggy Pop-ish, which it's his birthday today. So happy birthday, Iggy Pop!
Is it really Iggy Pop?
Celebrate Iggy Pop's birthday by downloading and supporting this song that sounds kind of like him.
All right.
Yep. Exactly. So, all right, you guys. Thanks so much.
I tell you. Before we go, I have one actually really important thing to say. So supposedly this is a hoax, and it probably is. But you know how internet hoaxes work, especially in the age of Q. Saturday, April 24th, which is Saturday, is supposedly this weird day, this Reddit or TikTok or whatever. Essentially, day of rape. Essentially,
International Rape Day.
It's probably a hoax.
Oh my God.
But we all know how hoaxes work nowadays, where some people believe they're true. Please be careful. I'm not saying go out and try and beat up people. Yes. I'm saying please be careful. It's COVID. You shouldn't be going out to bars anyways. If you do, go in groups. Please be careful. Watch your drinks. I mean, you should always be doing this. But
stay on main streets.
Stay on main streets. Just be careful, folks. We don't know. It's supposed to be a hoax. I pray it's a hoax. But I'd rather find out it's a hoax than someone got hurt. So just be safe, everybody.
Exactly. Be like he said, cover your drinks. I was a bouncer for years and never ever drink a drink that you have not had in your hand 24/7 during
I tend to go like that a lot.
Like that. You have to carry that drink in your hand. You put it down. Don't go back to it crazy because you don't know what could be in it. And I've seen firsthand people get drugged. So don't do that. Be aware. Everybody, male and female, and non-binary, and just don't go alone to places. Just in case this shit has any legitimacy
It just
to it
takes
at all.
one person who's like, I'm going to do
Right.
that.
It just takes
ruin
one
someone's-
idiot. Thank you for bringing that up, Impact. Do not go to places alone. Be safe, okay? That's what we want you to do. So, because we want to see you next time. There you go. All right. With that, thank you, Grey Starr. Awesome. We got to have you back for like several different reasons.
Yeah.
Impact, thank you. Everybody's saying go the fuck to sleep. So go the fuck to sleep. NightBug, thank you for being there.
Well,
We're
now
gonna
I'm
have
on
some.
Red Bull.
We're gonna right. Woo! Now you're NightBug. We're gonna have like a soundboard hopefully next time where you can put all your stupid little fun sounds in.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know how it's gonna work. We'll try.
We'll try it. So everybody else, be safe. We love you guys. It's not disingenuous. We actually really
Love
love
y'all.
looking here and seeing you. Be safe. Take care, everybody. Be super.
Bangarang.
Get that? Bangarang. Bangarang. Everybody, bangarang.
Bang, bang,
Bang, bang.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.